scraps. They've become the bane of my existence. So this month for Smash Our Stash, I am trying to tackle some of the Christmas paper scraps. Hey guys, it's Beth. Welcome. It is time for the December Smash Our Stash collaboration, and this is a collaboration I host that focuses on using up those things in our stash that either we hoard or we forget about, like we've collected and forgot about. And this month was free choice. So I chose paper scraps, and this is a collaboration, so you can check the description box below for the links of the other participants to see what they chose for their free choice month. If you've followed my channel, you know I have been working on scraps throughout the year, and I have made a dent. But the problem is, when it comes to this time of year, my husband and I have a craft business, and so we do craft shows, and I use my silhouette to make like home decor items, and the scraps just kind of pile up from those projects. When I'm working on, cards or scrapbook layouts or any other projects throughout the year, I pretty much use up all my scraps, but it's the silhouette project scraps from craft show time that really add up. And as you'll see, if you look at Christmas scraps, they're all like really the same papers. Now, part of the problem was last year when I went through and started working with scraps, some of this paper I have, like these patterns are on a Christmas block set that we sell, and we've been using these patterns for at least 5 years, but it's still like one of our bigger sellers, so we still continue to use it, and I'm really kind of tired of looking at it. So I think last year, when I had cleaned out my scrap box and started organizing, I had just decided to save these and use them, like I deal with them this year or deal with them later. And it's later, and I still don't want to deal with them. So I think some of them I will try to use, and then the rest I will either put in like a scrap bag or something that I can donate, or some of them I may just recycle. But these have been around, and I have so many. So anyway, I had probably 5 random bags of Christmas scraps. And again, this was just like after, when I was trying to clean up throughout the year, I would just stick whatever was by my silhouette in a bag. And then I had bags started from last year. So I went through those, pulled out all of the Christmas paper, and at least organized them kind of by size. And I started doing some things with them. But this is what I have left. And like I said, there's tons of these strips, like all similar sizes. So some of these I will continue to work with, like punching, die cutting, and then some of them I may be able to use on cards. And then like some of these little ones I can punch from. I don't know why I saved all of these silly strips. So I will do some strip cards, and then some of the rest of these may just get recycled. And then I have some bigger pieces left that I'm saving those are for another project for our business side. And then these are like just bigger pieces that I can use on cards. So after I sorted, what did I do with all of these scraps? First, I went through some of the bigger pieces and decided, like, what can I do with these big pieces rather than cutting them down? So I picked the ones that I thought, like patterns that I liked, or the cardstock, and did card mats out of them. Like anything that was big enough to get at least 4 by 5 1/4, I trimmed into a card mat. So I have some card mats ready to go. And then I inherited, that was the other thing, I had a bag of Christmas stuff from my mother-in-law, and in it it's almost like she was making card bases with these paper, because they were already folded like this, but they're like 4.5 by, let me find the right end of my ruler here, 4.5 by 5 1/4. So they're like not a standard card base size. So I decided that they are the perfect width for hot cocoa packets. And so I needed to replenish some, I don't need them this year, but I'll have them ready for next year. And it's nice, thick paper, but it's very glittery. So and the glitter does come off. So I didn't really want to use it on cards, but I think it's fine for the hot cocoa packets. And plus, normally, you know, when I'm selling them, they're sealed in a bag anyway. So I went through and made a whole bunch of the hot cocoa. Like, all I did was her card base. I'm assuming that's what she was using them for. I just trimmed off the top right corner. It was already folded. I didn't have to do that. I just trimmed off that top right corner and then glued up the side and the bottom and just made a little pocket. So, and then this one, I have two that weren't, either I think I had tried to do it once before, and this one I had cut like the corner incorrectly or something, I don't know. So I couldn't do this, and then this one, the pieces I had already cut down to something, the pieces weren't big enough to make that pocket, so I just took parts, half of a business size envelope, and added paper to it to make a pocket that way. And then I also had some that is another thicker cardstock, and these were double-sided, and so I made nail file holders. And so I just, again, I was able to get 3.5 by 6 inch pieces out. So that's why I thought it would be a good project for the nail, or good paper for the nail file holders too. And the paper had some of these like tags in there. And so I just used those to kind of decorate up, and then pulled in some stickers from my stash. And then I had another bigger piece left that I couldn't do a nail file holder with. So I just did a tag. So that is that. And then for the rest of the time, I spent die cutting. I went through all my die cuts, pulled out things that I thought I could use Christmas styled paper for. So I pulled out Christmas themed die cuts, and then other die cuts that would make sense with the colors or the patterns, even if they weren't Christmas colors or patterns that I had. So I did anything that was like a cardstock or a thicker pattern paper. I did tags, because that is kind of what I'm going to focus on with scraps for the rest of this month, are cards and Christmas tags. So I cut a bunch of tags. I did a few little houses. I have 2 different little house dies, so I thought that would be fun for a winter card. I did take some of the strips and used this is Pink and Maine, like circle cover die, and I did use that and started cutting out a bunch of circles, like so that I can make cards. And it's funny because I had been talking to Kathy, who is Stampin' Cat on Instagram. She's part of this collab, and she was talking about die cutting and what do you do with the pieces as you're cutting them, and she's like, I think I'll use like a tray or something. I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. So last night, as I was finishing up die cutting, I was like, I need to get these off my desk so that I can move them to my other desk. So a tray. Thanks, Kathy. That sounded like a brilliant idea. So again, I have an assortment of die cuts here. Candy canes, I had some red and cream or red and white striped paper, so candy canes was the most logical way to use that for me. I have a bunch of Christmas trees or just trees. I did tons of joy. It's like let me pull out a solid one here, like a scripty joy. And then I was using my Big Shot and also running my silhouette at times on the side. And so like from my silhouette, I cut December 25th. And then I have some bows. The bows were good for some of those longer strips. I have a dove. That was a silhouette image. I have a bunch of different stars. These were punches, dies, silhouette, kind of whatever I could find. I have a few different holly bunches. Like I had 2 different dies with hollies, leaves, and berries. So I did some of those and put those together. I have hearts because there's a lot of red, which can also be used for Valentine's Day hearts. And then I have some deer. Various deer. I do have a deer die. And then just some random stuff that I had. So also something I had done in the past, but just wanted to share it. I may have shared it in years past too, but all of that paper, you know, the like this and the green holly that I have so much of. I think it was last year or the year before, I went through and cut ornaments. And so they are ready to, I have a whole bag here, ready to be, I could put them on cards. So for the rest of this month, I will be playing with scraps. And with these scraps, I plan to make Christmas tags, cards, and probably even some scrapbook layouts, because I'm trying to challenge myself to use scraps more on my layouts as well. So that is my Smash Our Stash. This is the last one for 2022. We are continuing this collaboration into 2023 because it has been good for all of us. So stay tuned for a new year of Smash Our Stash coming. Again, please be sure to check out those links in the description box. See what other people used, get some more inspiration. Thank you so very much for your time today, and hope you all have a very crafty day.